Yo, what's good, mi gente? You is now tuned in to Pura Cultura, Sin Censura, and this is your boy Lazy.
And now I'm Smiley.
And together we are the
Maxi Twins. Yeah, man. So we got a few topics that we got to get into today, man.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of them have to do with prison. A lot of them have to do with getting detained, getting arrested.
Manhandled a little?
Manhandled, all that, man. But it's like, yo, Lazy, don't get too excited, man.
I don't know why that sound came.
I think Lazy wants to somehow get himself arrested.
No. That's why I stay out of prison, bro. I'm a little big dude.
Nah, man, but let's start it off with Andrew Tate, man.
Yeah.
The top G, you know. He's a very controversial dude. He's like, there's no in between, right? You never talk to someone and then they're like, oh yeah, he's all right, you know, he's kind of cool.
It's women love him, men hate him, and kids want to be him.
But it's like, so it's like you never really gonna get someone that's like, you know, in between. Most of the time, it's either gonna be you like them or you just hate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just for people that don't know who Andrew Tate is, you know, he's just a very controversial dude. He's like a self-proclaimed like motivator. He likes to see himself as he motivates the young men to be strong, masculine men, to be proud to be like alpha males, to be proud of being like fit, to be proud of being ambitious and having nice cars, fast cars,
multiple women
and big houses and all that. Like that's the message he pushes to men, because one of the things that he feels is like about these generations that men have gone soft, that men are weak, you know, mentally weak, and that goes with physical weakness. So he always pushes that whole fitness thing. So that's what his goal is, right? Or at least, you know, that's what he's selling. That's what he's selling. You know, like I don't tune in with him like that to know exactly what this dude is fully about. So don't think that I'm over here co-signing for anything. I'm just kind of just letting you guys know about him. So some people see him as a person that is motivating the young men to, you know, to get out there and do more. But, you know, then you got the other side. A lot of people see him as a misogynistic dude that just talks a lot of hate speech, you know, spreads a lot of hate speech, I should say. So it's like it's either those two, the way people see him, and the way. I mean, I've heard some of his comments, and they do seem a little edgy. You could say they do seem a little like risque. You know what I mean? It's not things that we've never heard as dudes, just like what they call locker room talk, right? It's not things that we've never heard people say, or we've never heard people see the world in that way. But it's just his thing is he says it in a very public manner and very public platforms, because he has like. He had a huge following before he got like canceled off of all his social media apps because of the message he was putting out there. But it's like some of the things is like guys have thought about before, guys think or have talked about before. It's like nothing new. It's just that it's just being put out there in a big, you know, on a big platform.
There's a lot of fantasy talk though.
On some, yes, I guess, like, give us an example.
Like, you know, saying like, I don't want the girl that's gonna give me problems, that's always bitching where I'm at. You know, I want my woman when I get home from the bar with my boys. My woman is gonna go in the kitchen. She's gonna cook us all a steak. You know what that's gonna show? It's gonna show my boys like, damn, man. Where do you find her? Or, man, she treats you like a king, you know, and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That sounds beautiful way. You know, that sounds like the fantasy talk that a dude thinks he's going to find one day. You ain't coming home from hanging out with the boys for your girl that she's already going to be pissed at you. Not everybody, not her body. But a lot of the times, if you come back and you're drinking, you're loud, you're bringing the boys back. Like, how old are you? I don't know how old these people. You know, it could range. But anyways, I'm speaking from my age. You ain't bringing the boys back, man. It's loud, and then you expect the woman to cook steaks for everybody. That's why I mean that
Yeah.
that's fantasy talk.
That
Right?
does sound a little crazy, man. But yeah,
He
man.
said
So
he has said a lot crazier shit than that though. But
yeah, so some of the things that people are that I guess some of the things that he has allegedly said, and I say allegedly because, like I said, I don't tune in with him like that to know whether it was really said or not. But some of the things that people are saying that was pretty crazy of him is that he has said some questionable stuff about rape victims, and he has said questionable stuff about domestic abuse. So that's where like the whole misogynistic stuff comes in. And there is one thing that he did mention that I did see a clip of it. It was about girls not knowing how to drive, right? That girls shouldn't be able to drive or something like that. But it's like, so he says some crazy shit like that. But it's like it's crazy how like a lot of the message that he's putting out there, like it's a very popular message because he has a huge following. I mean, at one point he was the most Googled person in the world. Like, he was more Googled than Kim Kardashian and Trump, you know, and those are the two tops. So it's like, obviously, Andrew Tate was a very popular person, interesting person that people wanted to look him up. But so right now he's currently locked up, you know, and then just today the news came out that his lawyer came out saying that the top G, Andrew Tate, actually has lung cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has. Like, this is what they're saying. We don't know if it's 100% sure or not, but it's like,
it's not.
I guess lazy knows everything.
No.
So it's like, so from what the lawyer is saying is that even before he was locked up, that he was already taking trips to Dubai to get treatment for the cancer, right? But this is kind of crazy because it goes back to some of the things that Andrew Tate has said. Because a lot of people say like he foresaw everything that was going to happen to him right now, right? So like Andrew Tate, he says that you have 3 lives. That one of your lives is, the way they take one of your lives is when you get canceled, right? So they shut down his Twitter, IG, Facebook, and I guess even like some of his bank accounts or whatever. So that was the first one. And he was like, all right, so now I know. He said something like, one of my lives has already been taken. The next thing, the next thing that they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get me arrested for something. They're going to make up some crazy story and get me arrested. And if that's not going to work, they're going to try to kill me. You know what I mean? So it's like, so he got canceled. He got arrested, which he's still currently locked up. And now, like I said, allegedly or whatever you want to call it, he has lung cancer. So it's like, damn, it's like, it's getting pretty crazy, right? Because I don't know if I haven't been following the whole trial like all the way through, but like I did see that the 2 girls that were accusing him of being held without against their will, like some of their text messages came out, and it basically shows how they were like setting up the whole thing to make it look like that, like basically they planned the whole thing out. So obviously that would hurt their case, right? And he would be set free. So now what people are saying is like, well, of course he's gonna be set free. So now somehow the Matrix gave him lung cancer, man. So, and that's one of the things that's one of the things that Andrew Tate does say. He's like against the Matrix, right? Which the Matrix is what, like the government and the society, the way they have us programmed.
Yeah, the way we got programmed since we were born.
So that's one thing that he kind of like talks about, like just going against the Matrix, going against what they want you to do, and keep you like
a slave
to this. It's a slave in this world. Like you just working for the man, and you die, and your kids continue to work for the man. So I mean, there's a lot of shit that this dude said. Some of it was crazy. Some of it, I heard some of the stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't that crazy. But then you do hear some stuff, and you're like, all right, bro, you really pushing it right there, man.
And I think that goes for everybody that reaches a status where you almost feel invincible. You know what I mean? Untouchable. Yeah. Where it's like, the recording that I heard of him telling the girls like shut up, you liked it, and it's just like this wiretap of him telling the girl like, you should be happy that you had the top G, screwing you and stuff like that, you know. And they don't show her part of the conversation, but they released his side, and it's like, damn, bro, that sounds a little crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, you know, giving the top G the benefit of the doubt, because he is the top G, way.
To you.
He's not to me, way, to be honest. Like, you don't know what kind of you don't know what kind of women he's messing with either. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like they're saying that that they were lying, but how come he's not free? If the evidence showed that they were straight up lying and caught planning on text messages and maybe wiretaps, if that's really true, they just set him free already? Like,
Oh, that's not how it works. You know, even when they find out evidence that you might be innocent, I mean, it's still a process. You know, it's not like oh shit, we just found this out. Let him out. You know,
no, I don't mean like that, but I just mean like maybe the status changes where you can get bail and then you can, you know. But I think that his case, from what I'm kind of seeing, they see him as a flight risk. They see him like, if we let you go, you're gonna be gone. You're gonna go into a country that is not gonna be able to extradite you. Like you mentioned, if he foresaw this happening, he probably already planned some doctor appointments for this supposedly lung cancer that he has. I don't think.
Well, they did show documents. They did show like a doctor report. So it's like, you never know. You never know what it is. It could be a tactic to get out of prison early. But then again, it could also be true.
I think if it's true, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I've seen different pages share a post of like Andrew Tate, something about he's been diagnosed with lung cancer or whatever, or reportedly he has lung cancer. Like, dude, there was so many pages that were like celebrating the fact that he has lung cancer. Like, there's pages that they'll share like the tweets that people share after, you know, they'll just share tweets, right? And it was just a lot of people like just celebrating the fact that he has lung cancer, bro. I'm just like, dang. Like, I understand sometimes you don't like somebody, but like to wish death on them or to be happy that they're gonna die, like that's extreme. Like if you think Andrew Tate's extreme by some of the comments that he said about just being a super alpha male and the woman needs to obey everything you say, that's crazy, right? Like that's crazy talk, right? But you wishing death on someone like that, that's also crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like that doesn't make you any better than this person by like fucking celebrating the fact that someone's gonna die off of cancer, which is like there's so many people in this world that die of cancer, and it's such a sad way to see people go, and for people to be, you know, like celebrating that, it's kind of, it reminds me of those things that when we were young, where our parents would always tell us, don't laugh at people that are sick because you could end up sick or your kids could end up sick like that. Don't laugh at people that have disabilities because your kids could grow up with your kids could have those disabilities. Like, you know, you never laugh at someone else, or you never make fun of someone else for certain things or wish anything bad on someone, because that can come back and either it was going to affect you either way, right? But it could happen to you or it could happen to your kids.
Yeah.
So it's like people like that, man, is like you're no better than Andrew Tate. If you're celebrating, you're putting out tweets of, you know, celebrating the fact that someone might have lung cancer, to me, you're just as bad, man.
Yeah. Well, there's so many people that have gone to prison, bro, and they don't even let them go out to get their own medical care. You know what I mean? I don't think Andrew Tate is any different. There's been a lot of people that their parents or a family member has died, and they haven't even, they weren't given the opportunity to go visit their funeral home, dude. Like, you don't get these benefits just because you're Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to go through the process. Like, I don't think the law should be like, this is the law, but if you're somebody at Andrew Tate status, then we're going to let you go see the best of the doctors in the world. And to be honest, I don't think homie has lung cancer. You know what I mean? From what I've read, they've seen a spot in his lung, you know, and that's very common. You know, I've got scanned and I have a spot in my lung, you know, and a spot in your lung. Have you ever even heard of that? They're
No.
like nodules.
No.
So if you get like if you get like an infection, it'll leave like a scarring tissue there, or it'll leave some kind of scar there, which it becomes like a nodule. Which if they scan you, they'll be able to spot something that's there, right? And and then they'll keep track of it. You know, like let's just say, you know, when they do an ultrasound for a baby and they like circle it and it's like 3 millimeters or something like that. So they do the same thing for your lungs. Like if they see something, they'll track it, they'll measure it, and they'll be like, come back and check in a year or two. And, you know, but usually it's nothing, you know, usually it is nothing. I do think Andrew Tate is using that for the opportunity to get out of jail card, bro. I'm not going to lie. I think that's it. You know, like, they said from the articles that I read, it has not been confirmed that it's lung cancer. His spot was seen in his lungs, which, to be honest, that's very common. And I wouldn't say it's very common if I didn't know, but I've had it, and I've had to go get a scan multiple times to make sure it didn't grow. It was just a nodule. It was just if you get an infection, it just stays there forever. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I can say that it doesn't have to be cancer, and most of the times it isn't. You know what I'm saying? But Andrew Tate is going to use all his cards to try to get out of jail.
Well, that's just what everyone's going to do, right? If you're in jail, your lawyers got to do everything in their power to try to get you out of jail.
Right.
Like that's the goal. I mean, we've seen people that are flat out guilty. Everyone knows they're guilty, but there's a loophole in the system, and obviously they're going to use it. You know, so it could be, and again, it could not be. You know, but either way, I'm not wishing no bad on him like that. I'm not wishing no cancer on anybody like that. It's like, if the dude's doing anything wrong, if he, you know, because he's getting accused of human trafficking, and if he is guilty of that, then let him suffer his consequences for what he's done. But it's like to wish death on anybody, you know, that's extreme. Someone will have to do something very, very extreme to like a family member for you to really start wishing death on anybody, man. So I think people need to check themselves on that too, because that's pretty crazy. That's kind of crazy talk right there, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. So.
But you know, moving it along, man. You know, like we said, we're gonna keep it in the whole prison genre category today, man. It's just what's happening, man. Last week, man, like it was like a Saturday or something like that, bro. I was, you know, scrolling through TikTok, man, seeing what's going on, and I was surprised to see that the president of El Salvador, his name is Nayib Bukele or something like that. He has a TikTok account.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't know that, but I seen this video of a bunch of bald-headed fools, man. It was like thousands of bald-headed fools, man. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just like so organized. I thought it was like I swear I thought it was like a movie at first. I was like, what movie is this? This shit looks dope. Like,
well, you got to look at all the money that was put into the visuals.
It's
it's not one person with a camera. You get angles. Like there was like
a whole production
team. A whole production team that he wanted this to go viral.
And
you know what I mean? And it did go viral.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy for a president to be setting that kind of, you know, tone. You know what I'm saying?
I think he, I mean, when you want to present something, you want to present it at its best, you know?
And it looked good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it looked like a fucking movie, but it's real.
Yeah. So, you know, I watched the video, man, and it turns out, you know, that president of El Salvador, Nayib, he obviously him and his team and everyone, they built a mega prison, man. It's called a mega prison that can fit up to 40,000 inmates, man.
Yeah.
And this mega prison is actually mostly just intended for gang members, you know, like for people that know, like in Latin America, especially in Central America, you know, they deal with a lot of two major gangs in particular. You know, they deal with MS-13 and they deal with 18th Street.
Oh shit! Oh, you name dropping.
I'm just reporting.
Con respeto, con
I'm
respeto.
reporting what I seen on this report, man. Con respeto.
Oh, you a journalist now, huh?
I ain't disrespecting nobody. I ain't representing nobody. But anyways, so obviously we've all heard, man. Like you have to be completely out of the loop if you don't know that like Central America, especially El Salvador, deals a lot with gangs. You know,
Yeah.
with the whole gang violence. And you know, people getting robbed, people getting killed, people getting extorted, and all that.
Yeah.
We've seen that. We've heard that for so many years. We watched movies on it. We watched documentaries on it. We know it's a big issue there, right? So this new president that came in, man, he basically wants he's cleaning up cleaning up the whole country, and it's that was one of his goals right there, right? And from what a lot of people are seeing or saying is that they're really happy with the work he's doing. They're saying that the country's never been as safe as it is now. That now they can actually walk around and feel safe, which they didn't used to, and it's all because he's really taking like a main. He's really making it a priority to deal with all the gangs, you know, in that country, man. And for the people that don't know, you know, like the gangs in Latin America, in Central America, especially in El Salvador, you know, a lot of those dudes, they were sent to the U.S. You know, back when Central America, especially, I mean, Salvador was going through the wars that they were going through in their country. A lot of
asylum.
They got asylum. A lot of the Salvadorians came to America. Majority of them came to the L.A. area, I believe. And they started, you know, assimilating with the Mexican community that was there, with the Mexican culture. And when you're a young kid, and obviously back in the late 80s, 90s, you know, the whole Cholo culture, that was very influential. That was what was happening, right? So a lot of Central Americans picked that up, and they started, you know, creating their own gangs and joining gangs. And they started getting in trouble, and they started getting deported back to their countries. Well,
it was a little bit different than that, because they were mostly first known as like punk rockers, and they were, you know, that the name of their gang, that was just their punk rock crew. They were not adopting to be in the Mexican gang. They were not adopting to be in a black gang. They were getting bullied by the black gangs, and they were getting bullied by the Mexican gangs.
mm-hmm.
So then their rocking group or crew turned into what it is.
Yeah. Well, they put the 13 on there out of respect to the gangs that we know that are going on in Southern California. But so then they started getting into trouble. They started getting deported back to their countries, and El Salvador, like, they started just receiving a lot of these dudes that were coming from the LA area. What they started doing, obviously, they started recruiting and started doing what they've learned in LA or in the States. And that gang just blew up. You know, the MS-13 and 18th Street, those two gangs just blew up. They're worldwide known, and they're respected. You know what I mean? Like everyone that's anyone knows that, like, those are some serious gangs there, and those are some serious dudes that, you know, you really don't fuck around with. Yeah. So they've been having an issue with that. So obviously, like we were mentioning, the president wants to make sure he wants to clean up the country. And he created his mega prison, man. And it, like I said, man, it was a very crazy video. They have these dudes like somewhat trained in a way of how they gotta transport them. Like if you're getting transferred from like a cell to anywhere else, like they have them kneeling down, like crouched over. You know, they don't even have you like standing up straight walking. Like you can't even look at the officers in their face, and you got to be crouched over as you're running or moving in a fast pace to wherever the hell you need to get to.
But how many times did they have to practice before they did the real video?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think
that's not the first time, dude.
I think this is just how they have them trained, dude. Like,
yeah, I know, but still, like, how perfect that everything went. I'm like, these dudes were training weeks, so when they brought in the production team, it had to look like, man, you know, they've been cracking the whip on these boys for years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know that for a fact. We don't know how they're running their prisons. But, you know, for a lot of people are saying that that's a good thing. Like they said, the country feels safe. But there's people that are saying that that's violating human rights. The basic human rights in the world, because what's going on is like if you look like a gangster and if you have all those tats all over your face, all over your body, especially if some of them are gang affiliated, and you're just getting picked up and getting taken to prison. It's like they're not linking a crime to you, or they're not pinning anything on you, or they don't got fingerprints on you or proof on you. It's just like if this neighborhood has an issue with gangs and you're one of the dudes hanging around and you look like like a gangster, they're just taking you. They're not playing no games. Basically, they're like not wasting no time. So people are saying like that's violating the human rights, and what are they going to be having them do? Like, are they going to be doing free labor?
They are.
Are they going to be like, is that the goal now, to get like free labor out of these guys, and now like the country's going to benefit off of, the country's going to be getting profit off of having these dudes locked up, and you're forever going to have the workforce because you're always going to have these dudes coming in working and all that, man. So that's obviously, it sounds crazy because that's some of what we hear here, some of what we hear that's happening here in America. That when they ended slavery, their next big move was like, let's start locking people up, and we're gonna get that free labor either way.
But that's another story for a different time, because most of the people don't go to jail because they didn't do nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you really did some fucked up crimes, dude, then who gives a fuck if you're getting some free labor off of you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a damn. But as far as these jails that are going on in El Salvador, they used to be different, bro. Like, there was this one time that I bought this DVD that, it showed that gang, Mara Salvatrucha in El Salvador. And when people would go to prison, you had the option to take your family with you to prison. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And prison was just like a community. Like, you just had to live in there. Yeah. There was no rules as far as like these people per cell. You had your wife there, you had your kids there. It was a really fucked up situation to live in, way. Mm-hmm. And there was this. If you know that you were gonna go to prison, it's still gonna be fucked up because you're locked up, right? But if you knew that you could take your girl and you could take your kids with you, is that really gonna like quitarte las ganas from doing some crazy shit, bro? A lot of people are living in there like it's just your neighborhood.
Well, a lot of people, like, it's just like any inner city or any city. Like, a lot of people don't know anything other than that. You know, like, you just see it as like that's where eventually that's where I'm gonna end up. You know what I mean? So it sucks, man. Honestly, it sucks to see people just kind of throwing their lives away like that, because you see that and you're like, damn, that's a lot of people that are just like, they're just out of the world. Like, you're living on this earth, but you're just like out of the picture. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like invisible out there, which, it's hopefully it's a good example for other people not to want to be part of that stuff, man. But people always get smart and people adapt. If police officers now and those countries are looking for bald-headed fools with tats all over their face and their bodies, then what's going to happen now? Dudes are going to be normal-looking dudes, but still part of the gangs, and now you're just not going to be able to distinguish who's who. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just crazy. I think it's just in human nature that there's going to be good guys and bad guys, man.
But it's just the quantity of things, bro. Like, the clips that I was watching, there was this one clip that I seen that in one day 60 people got killed. Yeah. And it's like,
and that's when they went in that neighborhood and they arrested I forgot how many people, and then just grabbed them all and took them. It's like, it's those kind of things. Like, 60 people got murdered in a day.
One day, bro.
That's when the government's gonna be like, I don't care who's who, or if they were part of it or not. Or
it's almost like a RICO case, to be honest.
Like saying like all of them are going in. We're cleaning up the whole neighborhood. So it's just crazy, man. So that's just a little bit of that, man. We just we posted the video, so obviously we want to talk about it a little bit and just kind of give a little more details on that. And just real quick, details on how this mega prison is built. There's a total of 8 buildings, and each building has 32 cells that holds 100 prisoners per cell. Like, I don't know if you saw that video where like they open the cell door and it's a huge room.
It looks like a cabinet.
Yeah. So it's like, that's where they fit. They fit 100 inmates in there, and like we saw, they don't have beds. They don't have.
It's fucked up. They don't have mattresses.
Yeah.
And they don't even. I don't know.
And you know, another thing is like you have 100 people per cell, right? And there's only 2 toilets and 2 sinks.
Sheesh.
Like, bro, like I live in the house with 4 people, and sometimes, like, you know, both bathrooms are being used with 4 people. And I'm like, dang, like, bro, like that's gonna be just that's a recipe for disaster, man.
I hope that was just for the cameras, bro. But like, they're already in prison, bro. Can you give them like the thinnest mattress, if that, with a blanket? Like, they're just stainless steel. They look like cabinets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're gonna just sleep there with no pillow and no blankets and no fucking mattress. It's just like, that's some crazy inhumane shit, though.
That is crazy, man. But yeah. So that's a little bit about what's going on in El Salvador, man. That president actually he has the highest rating, the highest acceptance rating in all Latino America, including Mexico. Yeah. So it's like a lot of people are happy with what he's doing. You know, he introduced Bitcoin to the whole country too. You know, so he's obviously doing things. Modernizing the country in a way that, you know, I feel like he's in the term, from what I've heard of him, he's done a lot for the country and just himself that we've ever heard anyone do, man.
It's crazy because he's fucking young as hell too.
Yeah. So I mean, shout out to them if it's working out for them. And again, no disrespect to anybody that's going through all that, man.
And if it works, and if it's really something that's beneficial to the country, then, you know, neighboring countries can start adopting that process, bro.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. No, I heard some crazy stuff about how, like, before, it's like if someone gets killed, he had mentioned, like, if someone gets murdered, if an innocent Salvadorian citizen gets murdered, nobody in prison is gonna eat. Like that's how he threatens these guys. So it's like, this guy is tough, bro.
Do you see the other one that and I don't remember quite clearly of the situation, but gang members did not have they didn't deserve graves, so they were digging them out?
No way.
Something like that way.
All right, let's just leave it there until we're 100% on that one, man. But yeah, man, moving it along, man. We got to move on to the pendejo of the week, bro.
Hey.
You know, so for a minute, you know, we wasn't doing pendejo of the week, you know. I mean, there was some that deserve it, but, you know, we slipped up and missed a few here, man. But now it's like we back on this, and it just feels like
back to the roots, man.
Back to the basics, man. And it feels like we're getting more pendejos that we can handle during the weeks, man. It's hard to spread these out when there's so many pendejos out here, man. But let's get to the pendejo of the week this week, man. So pendejo of the week this week goes to a former ICE agent named Raul Rodriguez, because he's a Mexicano from Matamoros, Mexico.
Ooh.
So this ICE agent, bro, he worked as a border patrol agent for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And then he comes to find out that he's actually undocumented himself, man. Ain't that some shit, bro? The irony in this shit. And it's like, so
I don't feel bad for that motherfucker.
I don't feel bad for him either, man. You know, it's like it's crazy how many people he helped deport or he deported when he himself was undocumented himself. And it, you know, it's just crazy to even think about, man. So apparently this dude was born in Matamoros, Mexico. His dad never told him that he was actually undocumented and that his birth certificate was fake. You know, coming from a person that was undocumented myself at one point, to me, it's hard to believe that people can grow up. I mean, the dude is 54 years old. It's hard for me to believe that anyone can be 54 years old and never know that he was undocumented, man. Yeah. Like, your dad is going to eventually tell you, right?
Well, he claims that he didn't.
And that's the thing. He claimed that his dad, like, never told him.
Because this happened in 2018.
When he got busted. 2019.
And he said as soon as he found out, he has not talked to his dad since.
They're sticking to the script, man. You got to stick to the script. So I mean, this must have been like some high
I
quality.
miss you, Papa.
This must have been some high quality counterfeit paperwork here, bro, because this guy was able to join the Navy
Yeah.
and he was able to join the Border Patrol. Like if you know that you're undocumented and you sign up for all these things, man, you got some balls of steel, man.
That's when you're like right under their nose type shit.
That's the thing. Like the best place to hide is right under the nose, right under people's noses, right? So
imagine all the hatred he had to talk about, like the undocumented. Like, I'm tired of these undocumented immigrants, and they make my people look bad. Y no sé qué tanto.
if, like I said, if he truly believed that he was a citizen, right? But there was a moment that he said that was one of his worst fears.
What?
Yeah.
That's
He
kind of
said-
weird, huh?
Yeah, that's when you kind of feel like, bro, if you know you were born in the U.S. or that you're documented, like no one ever has that fear. Like you don't walk around with that fear. Like my worst fear is to ever find out I'm actually undocumented myself. Like nah, you don't walk around with that kind of that mentality, But another reason why I feel like también that he kind of might have known something is that he was actually, the way he got caught was he was trying to help his brother apply for a visa. So I guess to show that he had family out here, Raul sent over his birth certificate to show that he had a brother in the States already. And that's when they ran it or whatever, and they found out it was fake. And they actually sent him his original real birth certificate from Mexico. And then
He said he froze up when he saw his name on that birth certificate that belonged to Mexico.
and that's pretty crazy, right? So
What
so
the fuck is my name doing on there?
so he ends up getting fired from the Border Patrol now, but they're giving him 3 years to straighten out his paperwork and come back and join the team, right?
Really?
Yeah, they're giving him 3 years, and then like his wife is I believe she's a citizen, right? Because then he tried to fix through his wife, which she also works for the Homeland Security.
She works for U.S. Immigration Customs and shit.
Yeah, so he tried to fix through her, but the thing that's fucking him up is the fact that he has claimed that to be a citizen before. Like we've said this before, like for people that are undocumented, or even if you're a resident, like you should never claim that you're a citizen. Like that's like the biggest no.
Yeah.
I don't know how, no other word. Like that's what you don't want to do. If there's
That's
anything
a lifetime penalty, right?
yeah,
there.
like if there's anything you don't want to do, never ever say that you're a U.S. citizen if you're not, because that's like unforgivable.
Yeah.
There's people that have been residents for so many years, or they even fought for this country, but they lied on the application, or they lied somewhere or to a Border Patrol agent and said that they were U.S. citizens just to get out of that situation, and then they get caught, and then that goes on your record. You can never fix, right? So that's what he's going through. For him claiming that he was a citizen before, and illegally voting.
Oh shit, he voted?
He was voting.
Who he vote for?
That's what I'm also thinking. I'm wondering, like, who was you voting for, bro? Like, you on the orange man side?
Yo,
like,
Daddy Trump better come save your ass.
he's walking around with the red hat, and being undocumented in his damn self, bro. Like, I wish they could put out the information. Like, the dude was a Trump supporter as well, like that would add more to the story, right? So those are the two things that are really fucking him up, because voting illegally, that's like a federal crime right there, bro. Like that's a really bad crime también,
Yeah.
So the judge denied his application, so he can't even fix through his wife.
Oh,
So
damn.
now he has to continue to work on trying to fix his status. But now what he is doing is he's working with the deported veterans,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of veterans that have fought for this country, but people come back with like PTSDs, and they come back with traumas and all that stuff. So sometimes people turn to drugs, turn to alcohol and all that. They get themselves in some trouble. And it's fucked up how they get deported back to Mexico even after fighting for this country. Like, I feel like if you fight for this country, you should get an automatic citizenship, even if you fuck up. Like, you risked your life for this country. Like, I don't even know how that can even be an option to get deported back to a different country after you fought here. But anyway, so now he's working with an organization helping deported veterans come back to the States, and now he's claiming like he's saying that he was blind before and he didn't know. He was blind to what immigrants and a lot of raza was going through, and now he can sympathize with them because he knows exactly how it feels.
Oh, I'd never seen it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are real humans too? Oh, so you guys only want to be here to help your family out, to earn a decent wage and, set your kids on for a bright future? I would have never known.
You guys aren't bad hombres after all, man. But you know what's another crazy thing about this, man? Is that his son's legal status now is in jeopardy because his son was also born in Matamoros, Mexico.
What?
And his son is named Raul Jr. Rodriguez. So his son was born in Matamoros también, and he fixed and became he fixed papers through his dad.
Oh.
So now his they're saying that his status is in jeopardy now.
I think he can fix her the mom though. If she was born in the United States, he should be good.
Depending on how old he is, because after you're a certain age, it's not that easy to fix through your parents no more. So,
but it's just still bloodline.
Yeah, but it's not that easy, bro. There's a legal process.
I know there's gonna be a legal process, but I think at the end his son has, he has a good chance. Right?
You sound like a Caucasian person. Like, what? You're undocumented? Why don't you just go to the Social Security offices and apply for your residence? That's how you sounding right now, bro. No. Like, it's that easy. But so that's a crazy ass story, man. But if you ask me, this dude still deserves Pendejo of the Week, and honestly, his family deserves Pendejos of the Week because how do you let your kids
attacking the man's family?
Yo, how do you let your kids? And I'm gonna explain why. You as a dad, how you let your kid become a border patrol agent, knowing damn well he's undocumented himself?
Okay, you're talking about the pops.
Yeah. So now you as a dad, you allowing your undocumented son to be out here deporting thousands of people while he's undocumented himself. That's like, man, that's like the biggest crime you can do on your peoples, bro. Like you doing to them what can be done to yourself también, bro. Like that's fucked up. So for the dad allowing that and just allowing that to happen and just stepping aside like he don't know what's up, he's a pendejo también, bro. So the dad and the son get pendejos of the week, man. And anybody that's against letting our people come to this country for a better life and get their kids ahead in life, man, y'all deserve pendejos of the week too, man. All of them, everybody that's against it, man. Yeah. Because it's like now, like he says, he opened his eyes and he can see, like, sympathize. I can't even say that fucking word. It's like, bro, like, you should know, like, you being a Mexicano from Mexicano descent, but especially being a Mexicano from Texas, no one should tell you the struggle, bro. You can look over at your neighbor and see what the fuck is going on, bro. Yeah. Like I would understand someone from fucking New Hampshire to be like, yeah, I didn't understand what they were really going through. Yeah, motherfucker, like, yeah, I get it. You all the way out there. Yeah. But someone in Texas, border town or from Southwest states, you have no excuse to not know that a lot of good people actually come here for a better life, man. Especially if you look, bro, like you look like a straight up Mexican, bro. It's not like you look like a dude that can play off with the white folks and be like be one of them type shit, bro. It's like looking at his pictures, it's like, bro, you look straight up fucking undocumented. I was gonna say, you say he looks undocumented, bro. Because now
I'm just fucking with you. But I will say this: it's fucked up that it takes this, and now they got to play that card, right? Because they only have so many cards they can play with, and now they're playing I'm a veteran now, and they're using all the cards that other Hispanics or people from other countries have had to use, but now they see it as like they're seeing every struggle that every immigrant that has got deported is seeing. It's like, how can I stay in this country? How can I get a visa or a residency or be allowed to stay? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's using you know, just kind of like we talked about Andrew Tate earlier. Like he's using, you got to use everything to your advantage, right? So he's saying that he's done undercover work, which was against the cartels. So he fears for his life. He's deported so many people that he fears for his life because people might want to get
He wants to claim
revenge.
asylum now.
And what's like the most one that people will sympathize for more?
Cancer.
Being a deported veteran. Bro, don't laugh at cancer, man.
I'm not laughing at cancer. I'm just saying people will use anything for their benefit.
Right. But what I'm saying, like, what's the one that people will get behind if you're a veteran?
Yeah.
Like being a veteran in this country, people will stand behind that. Like
You would think.
anybody, yeah. But I feel like a lot of people are just uneducated on that. Like there's so many people that are just don't even know that that's happening. That you know, if they knew, like if more awareness was brought on that, people would be like, "What the fuck? Like he served for this country and you deported him? Like how the fuck does that even happen?"
I think Vice TV was the one that I seen the veterans deported, or I forgot what the title of the show was, but Vice TV is the one that brought it like to even my attention. I didn't know veterans that have fought in, you know, for United States in the military, army and navy and all that stuff were getting deported. You know what I mean? And the process is it's a long process, and a lot of the times they get denied.
Yeah.
And they stay in border towns on the Mexican side, and you know, just hoping that somehow one day things can change.
Yeah. No, we hear stories like that. There's so many stories like people growing up their whole life in America but being undocumented, and then you end up getting deported at an older age. It's kind of like being locked up without even being locked up. Like you have freedom in Mexico to do whatever the hell you want, but it's like when all you know was America, and now you have to adapt and accept the realization that you're in a different country now and you gotta start from scratch. Like, bro, that it takes a strong motherfucker to handle that and deal with that, man.
We know everybody knows somebody.
Everybody knows somebody, man. So yo, shout out to everyone that's rocking with the podcast, man. We appreciate all the loyal listeners and all the new listeners that are coming through, man. We appreciate all you guys rocking with us, subscribing to the podcast, sharing it with your peoples, man. That's the only way we can grow as a podcast, man. So appreciate you guys, and we also appreciate everyone that's going to the website, purchasing the merch, purchasing the gear, representing the podcast, representing the culture, and at the same time, you are also supporting financially this podcast, man, because like we say, we got to pay for equipment and subscriptions and all that to do all this, man. So you guys are all being a part of that, man. So thank you guys, man. And other than that, man, I just want to say have a dope ass productive week, man. Stay consistent with your goals and stay positive with everything, man. And we'll catch you on the next one.
And fuck depression and fuck anxiety. This is your boy Lazy, and I'm out. Peace.
Out.